Hey, what's up guys? It's D4 People 2 Legs here. And today, I present to you my gaming and story of how I became a gamer, basically. It just talks about what made me a gamer so much. What games did I play when I was younger, and how I evolutionized from just watching games to playing them. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm gonna pretty much pause it in between to explain what I mean and really go in depth with this, because I don't know, I like talking and thinking about this. This is a great presentation. I hope you guys like. So here we go. Now, the toys, pretty much the toy stage. Well, everybody has their toy stage, but if you think about it, when I think about it, toys were not my first stage. I know everybody's saying, what? Everybody played toys before you played games. That's not really true. For me, I played toys briefly. Not too much. I'm not gonna say that was my first thing, but if I think about it, I didn't play with toys too much. In my spare time, I usually watched my brother play games as I sat there, cheered him on, and had fun. And I really enjoyed it when I was young. Now, the first part, Saga Frontier. Me and this game go way back so much that I play it currently. It is a old game, yes. It was my first game. My first. Not to play, but to watch and spectate and get the feeling of games. I don't know. They talking about this game makes me emotional, because this is my childhood here. This is what made me who I am now. When I used to wake up, you took your shower, you ate, and then after that, it was me and my brother. We just, at the time, my PS2 was in the room, I believe. Trying to think. I think it was in the room, my childhood, and then I put it into the living room, and then in the room, and then back in the living room. So yeah, it was in the room. Yes, it was. And I spent most of my time just watching my brother as he sat there, beat the game. Well, he never completely beat it, and that was really it, the suspense. I like to see him play against the bad guys, beat them up, and progress through the game. I like the elements, the graphics, and the best thing out of this whole game is the soundtrack. Freaking love the soundtrack. I'm in school sometimes listening to the music, and kids are like, let me see what you're listening to. And they click over and they're like, ha, you listen to game music. And I'm like, yeah, I grew up with this. And I'd rather listen to game music that has no lyrics than pretty much rap garbage that influences kids to steal and just sex. So think about that for a second. That's what I usually tell them. And they sit there and make smart comments, but I just sit back like, okay, still cooler than you. Anyway, back to the story. This was right here where I started, the start of my gaming career. As I said, I never actually played until I was a little bit older, on my first attempt. But until then, before that, I just spent most of my time spectating. All day. This me and my brother, he sat there from about 12 till 8 o'clock that night, playing the game. Straight. Bathroom breaks. Matter of fact, I don't even think we had bathroom breaks because we didn't get up to get water or anything. We were just sucked into the game. My first attempt was when I was about 7 or 8. Now, mind you, when I was watching my brother, I think I was about 2 or 3. I was pretty young. I could still talk and stuff in full sentences like this. Of course, not like this, like kids talk. Like, yeah, good job and all that stuff. But I knew what was going on. So I wasn't that young. I had to be about 2 or 3. My first attempt was I was about 7. At that time, my brother didn't really play it that much because in the video you'll see why, pretty much. So we didn't give up on Saga Frontier. Sometimes he'll play. When he played all day. That was the best part. And when I first played, it was because he hasn't played a lot at that time. So he started it up. I asked him to play. He was like, I miss Saga Frontier. Let's go play. So he asked me if I wanted to play it, and I was like, no, I want to watch you play. That's what I always did. He was like, okay. So he played for a while, got through some of the story, and then he had to leave to go up to his dad's house upstate. So he went to dad's house, and I was just sitting there like, oh, wow, like. And then he was like, just try to play, just play, you'll like it. And I was like, I know I like it, but I like watching you play. I don't want to do that. It was like a barrier I didn't want to cross, pretty much, because I don't like playing it. I want to spectate you do it. It was just this big feeling. I can't explain it. It was just this big feeling of watching you play. It was like watching a movie, a very interesting movie that never gets old. Till this day. This was about a month ago. He played the game for about 3 or 4 hours, and I sat there. I did nothing but watch. Till this day. So I played the game on my first try. And I was like, this is cool. I got the understanding of the controls. And I think I played for about an hour. But then I was like, no, I want to see him play. So I cut it off because we didn't have a memory card. We still don't have a PS1 memory card. And I carried on with my day and I played the other games. So that's pretty much the story of my beginning of Saga Frontier. Now, of course, we had other games during Saga Frontier. And I'm going to get into that one right now. Oh boy, Army Men. Now, in the spare time, when we were younger, when Curtis... Oh, wow, is that his name? Doesn't matter. It's my brother's name, Curtis. When he was playing the game, when he wasn't playing Saga Frontier, we were playing Army Men. Now, once again, like I said, before I started playing any games, I spectated first. He used to play story mode for about 2 or 3 hours, and then get up to the part where he couldn't beat anymore, and then we do 2-player and kill each other over and over. If you haven't played this game, you're missing out. It's a classic. It's a whole lot of fun as you chase down your enemies and chase down your friend into a big map. If you think about it, this was kind of the first Black Ops. I know it's not called Black Ops, but I think this game had the biggest 3D world gameplay at the time. I don't know that for sure, but it was just pretty much like the plastic men toys that you had, and you just played the game. That was pretty much it. When first I watched, as I said, and after a while we started doing 2-player more and more, and 2-player for me and Curtis lasted until about 2008, and then we moved on, I'd say. So we played Army Men for a long time. This game lasted. As a matter of fact, when he gets home, I ask him, you want to play Army Men, and see what he says. And if he says yes, then I don't know. I'll see if I record it or not. I don't know if he'll feel comfortable with us recording. I don't know. We'll see. So that's pretty much my story on Army Men. A wonderful game. The graphics, everything is cool. Next, Vanishing Point. Now, this was one of the first major car games that I ever played. If we weren't playing Army Men, we were playing Vanishing Point. This was a major racing game that featured, at this time, crappy quality cars, but we didn't mind because we had, PS2. Nobody cared about quality at the time. And racing your friend through the tunnels of different canyons, highways, and all that type of stuff. But we spent most of our time glitching through the game doing this spin trick on the first map when you first start the game up with no memory card. I don't know the name of it, but it was like next to this train. We bumped into the cars and then we did like a 480 spin in the air like 200 times. We spent most of our time doing that. And then quitting the game when we get bored. But other than that, I never watched him spectate. I never spectated him while playing. It was like straight away 2-player thing. I never watched him. I just jumped into it. Next is All-Star Slamming D-Ball. Now, I know most of you never heard of this game. You don't even know what it is. It's a blast of fun. Now, as I got older, as I said before, I was about 2 or 3 when I used to spectate. At this time, I was about 4 and 5. And we used to just put the game on, 1v1, and sometimes I'd watch him do story mode. Sometimes. But most of the time, it was just 1v1, playing countless matches until we got bored. Basically, you just throw... It's a dodgeball game with rules and colory things. So what happens is, if you throw the ball at the opponent and they catch it, I think it's about 4 times, and the ball turns green, that gives you a normal move. And if you catch it about 8 times, the ball turns yellow, and that gives you like an ultra super move. And if you have your boss still alive, the leader of the team, and he catches it 10 or 11 times, it turns red. And that'll give him a super ultra super move, which looks pretty cool. So at the time, we were just playing, having fun, getting each other's players out till we got bored. That's pretty much what it looks like. The 2 in the middle are the bosses, and if they caught it about 10 or 11 times, it turned red. Now those are each teammates. And here we have Pac-Man. On this part, I mostly spectated my brother play. Excuse me, I have a cold from all this rain and whatnot. The weather is crazy. Now, this was one of the first Namco games we had. Now, before, I didn't know what Namco or the company or any of that meant. I just knew Pac-Man and these other games existed. I know there was a Pac-Man, a Pac-Woman, a shooting game with spaceships, and a guy who digs. That's what I called it. Now, when I used to go to... I still do. Well, when I went to the barbershop, my old barbershop, I used to go in, and they had an old Namco arcade thingy. You know, the whole arcade thing with the stick. You know what I'm talking about. And we used to go in there, and if we had change or whatnot, put in 25 cents or whatever, start the game up and play. Now, one of the cool features about Galaga, I think it's called. No, it's Galaga. Yeah, I was right, Galaga. Okay. And the cool feature about that was sometimes you didn't need money to play. Like if somebody lost and it sits there for about 20 minutes, you could play like a sort of a demo, and then it restarts. But that's that. I used to just watch him play Dig Dug, Pac-Man, and all these things while I sat there, watched, and had fun. And I really enjoyed my childhood. I had the best childhood a kid could have, and I'm grateful for it. Really. You'll never see me complain about my childhood, ever. And I feel bad for these kids nowadays because they don't get to grow up with the childhoods that we had. We didn't think about, graphics and the best TVs and the highest prices for systems. It was all about fun. We didn't care about story mode and cracking down all these codes like Black Ops does. I don't mind it, really, because I'm older, obviously. I like it. But kids really don't want to do that stuff. And it's sad because they don't make games like these where you just sit back and play. Just play. Give them a remote and simple, easy gameplay. Something you can pick up and play with. And that's why I used to knock Dragon Ball Z The new one that they made that everybody hated, forgot the name of it. You guys know what I'm talking about. The one with like 3 buttons. Everybody hates so much. I used to hate it, but now I think about it, Dragon Ball Z, the creators did a good thing. They made a pick up and play that anybody could play. A dad could visit his son, or live there, doesn't have to be visit, and say, his son could say to his dad, hey dad, you want to play Dragon Ball Z with me? And I'll say, alright, I'm done with my work or whatever, I have spare time, okay. How do you play? And he could tell him 3 buttons and he'll play a game with his son. I know it's not like that, but like let's say they have 2 systems in the house or something like that. Or adults. Now, playing games aren't rocket science, but adults don't really... The ones that were born before, like 50s or 60s that want to play with their kids, they don't know how to up, right, down, left, grenade, and use all these controls. They don't get that. Because back in the day, it was just 1 button, 2 buttons, and you had fun. Nowadays, they don't have that anymore, and I just saying that's kind of a shame. They should make more games like Dragon Ball Z. And I used to knock it and make fun of it, and, oh, you want to play these? Go to DJ Walker's house and let's go play the game. Let's go push 1 button while we're on our phones, because we could do that, make jokes and stuff. But now I really look at it and I see why they did it, so that's pretty much that. Classics. Next stage, Monkey Ball. Now this was the stage that pretty much starts me interacting with my cousins. Now, right now I have 3 cousins that are close to me like glue. Stuck on me. DJ Walker and my other cousin, I call her my sister sometimes. That's how close we are. Basically, after, I'll say this is about 2007, 2008. This is when the GameCube started in the family. Now, the first one to have it was, I'll call her T. T was the first one to have it. And she was nice about it. She was like, hey guys, I have a sister. You guys want to come over to my dad's house and play and whatnot? So, my mom had work and stuff, so my cousin invited us over to her dad's house to play some GameCube and stuff. And it worked out because my mom had work at the time, and my uncle was pretty cool about it. He said, okay, no problem, I'll watch them for a couple hours and bring them back safely. It's fine. So, that was pretty much my whole year, going to my cousin's house Saturdays, I believe it was. Saturdays or sometimes Sundays. And leaving, like, later on, playing Monkey Ball. Now, at first I watched my brother and my cousin play, because I didn't know what the heck to do. It just looked fun. But, after a couple times I played, and it was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Now, that's when my GameCube side started. Shortly after Monkey Ball came Super Mario Sunshine. Now, I didn't play Super Mario Sunshine really at all. I tried once and I was like, no, I want to spectate because it looks so interesting to watch. So most of my time I watched my cousin T play the game. And sometimes Kurt, if he picked it up, we'd watch. Make jokes and watch him play as he dove into the deep story mode of Super Mario Sunshine. It's really a good game. You guys should try it out. And this is really what started my interest in GameCube. And after that came Mario Kart. You knew it was coming. So, basically after that, the next year, I think it was still 2007. My brother's father took me up to Poughkeepsie where he lives, and we stayed there, I believe, the whole summer that time. It was about 2 or 3 weeks. It was like the middle of the summer. He took us for the rest of the summer, and then we came down. There was like 2 weeks left until school. Anyways, in that time period, we were playing Mario Kart like it was crazy. My brother's sister, another one, Cece, she bought in Mario Kart, and it was 2 player. And one person drove, and the other person threw stuff. It was a cooperative mode game. Or you could have the computer throw the stuff too. Or you could just drive by yourself and do both. It was a fun game. A simple, fun game. We laughed. We had pizza. We had all this stuff. And I think back so much right now. And it gets me so happy. All these fun memories and stuff. That really, like I said earlier, I don't want to make it a rant. But really, I feel bad for kids because even though they get to have fun and stuff, but most of it is ranting on people who've played 24/7 and know mastered the game already and just keep beating you. But here you have games that it could go either way. It's a race. It's just stay in front. The cubes would choose if you were in first place. They give you nothing but bananas so that the people in behind you could throw blue shells and get you in last. And it was competitive. It wasn't stupidly designed. I'm not throwing any subs. I'm not saying any names. But it was stupidly designed. It was simple, easy, and I had so much fun when I was a kid. And to this day, I want to go back sometimes and just... CC's probably now about older now. But still say, you got the GameCube still? I know she'll probably say no. Who has that anymore? But I know my cousin still has her GameCube, and I'd be glad to bring it over and play some old memories. I have no problem with playing old games. I actually like doing that. So that's it for Mario Kart. Part 2. This is where I begun my toys. Now, those 2 figures there are my idols. Robin and Batman were my first favorite superheroes and are still my favorite superheroes. Robin. At the time, I didn't know who the flippity zip was Dick Grayson. I just knew there was Robin. I watched Batman anime series. I just knew that was Robin. I knew it wasn't the same Robin. He looked different. I thought it was just design. I didn't know it was a different Robin. All I knew was Robin, Robin, Robin. Robin is my favorite character in the world. Batman, at that time, I believe, was equal to Robin. Both of them were my absolute favorites. There was no one above the other. Batman was my absolute favorite. Of course, until Teen Titans came along and swooped that from Batman. But it's okay. This was pretty much the start of my toys. I was a late toy person. Like, of course, I played in my spare time, sometimes in the hallways and whatever, on the floors, but most of my time was me watching my brother or playing games with him. At this time, me and DJ Walker, this is where me and him started bonding. Strict bonding. Now, we just, we had a bunch of toys of many toys. I still have a chest box full of toys. If you guys want to take a picture and put it on the channel, I will do that for you. I'll show you what it looks like. Still to this day, sitting in my flipping room, full of countless toys. And I was thinking about it. We don't use them. So I'm thinking about asking my mom if we could give it to charity or something. So that those kids could have something to smile about for Christmas. Because I know some people aren't as fortunate as others. And that would be nice to do. Yeah. These 2 right here were pretty much it. Now, if I can remember all of the people we played with, that'd be great. So it was me and DJ Walker at my grandma's house. Every Saturday, pretty much. Even sometimes during the weekdays. Go in the hallway. Daniel, you got your toys? That's my name, by the way. I never said that. And DJ Walker, got your toys? Yep. Put them all in the hallway. Poured the whole bag out. It was Robin, Batman, Cyborg, like 2 other mini Batmans from Burger King at the time. uh, some mechanical guys, Buzz Lightyear, Hercules, Power Rangers, Michelangelo from TMNT. I'm trying to really think here. Some samurai guy, I don't even know his name. Some red dude. And I believe that's it. Oh, sometimes Beast from X-Men, the blue guy, Beast. We had him. That was a little bit later though. But those were the basics until, as we got older, we got more toys added to the edition. But those were pretty much the originals. And that's what we did most of the time. And as I talk about the toys, me and my cousin were so crazy. We had imagination of planets. We could fill planets worth of imagination. Me and him with our crazy selves said, hey, we play every Saturday. Let's act like we're a TV show. So we made up this thing called Kids TV. Every week we'd come out and pretty much speak to each other. Like this week on Kids TV, we have the Teen Titans, because that was our favorite show at the time, versus, who is it? The Bad Guys. We didn't really have a name, The Bad Guys. And we put them out, laid them out against each other, and we would literally start playing off as if it was TV shows. We would make the sound effects, like at the time Danny Phantom was out, so we started off like ding 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 or something like that, and then we started off talking to each other. We'd act like the Titans Tower was there. Hey Cyborg, what are you doing? Making a pizza or something. Oh, could I have some? And then the Bell, my brother was there too. The Bell from Teen Titans Go. Alright, oh my gosh. And then we would jump in the cars and drive them down the hallways to the villains to see what they were doing. And that was pretty much it at the time. We just had so much fun. So much fun. Now, after I pretty much finished Kids TV, it wasn't finished, we still did that on occasion. But after that, I pretty much started my Game Boy career. And my first Game Boy game was Pokemon Leaf Green. This is where I started my Pokemon love. I was a big Poke fan when I was young. I wanted to know all the types and everything. And all that. I wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. I wanted to know if Pokemon actually existed. I was a curious child. I still am. Except for the child's part. Anyway. Pokemon Leaf Green was my foundation for Game Boy, where it all started. Now after Pokemon Leaf Green came Emerald. My brother started off with Emerald, but after a while I began to play and master it as well. Just like Leaf Green, I played it. One thing better about it is the way the moves are shown. They're shown better. I also played Pac-Man. When I stopped playing Leaf Green in the spare time before I played Emerald, I played Pac-Man on the, Pac-Man Museum thing. And after Game Boy, I went right back to PS2. And during this time, I pretty much was a gamer during this time. This is when I really started my gaming. But I won't call it my official start. And this time, me and my brother played a more upgraded racing game called Gran Turismo 4, where we just raced each other, had fun, made imaginations up, like the Titans Tower in the distance, drive there, who could get there fast, Beast Boy versus Robin. It was just so much fun back then. And we just raced around. So yeah, this is pretty much my start of my own / me and my brother full gaming. After that, we mostly played Sonic Riders. During this time period, it was mostly racing games. This was the racing era. If it wasn't that, it was Sonic Riders, as we beat the World Grand Prix as he was in first, and I was always second. And it was always like that. And we used to blow the computer out by laps. Sometimes the computer would just be on the second lap and we finished it already. And most of the time we teamed up, helping each other out. If there was a CPU trying to hit him up from behind, I got him. That's how it was. Basically, this game is Sonic and this guy called Jet, and a bunch of their sidekicks, featuring them doing high flip techniques and 380 spins with hardly any effort on basically hoverboards of different style. That's basically what that game was about. And I still sometimes play this game. And the biggest part for me, the beginning of the Naruto. Who started me on Naruto? My good friend named Justin. I had no flippin' idea what Naruto was. When I went to my new school, all I knew was that kids were running around talking about 1,000 Years of Death and Chidoris and lightning blades and running around. And I used to try to be a part of it, but I didn't really know what any of it was. So I was sat there in suspension of what is going on. But I tried to go apart with it, and usually that didn't work out. I was just doing random stuff, and they were like, dude, that's not even the move. And then they'd school me like, this is how you do it. And we all laugh it off, and I sat there like, darn, feel like an outcast. But eventually, Justin was like, you don't know much about Naruto, do you? And I was like, no, not really. And then he educated me on pretty much a lot of story mode, what moves are. And then came the game. Put me onto the game. He was like, this is a game. You can learn more about it by playing this. All that stuff. Went home, and me and my brother started playing this game. Now, usually, he was better than me. Sometimes I would beat him. Very little times. Still, to this day, I can't beat him. Unless it's 3 or 4. But on this one and 2, he is unstoppable. He usually beats me. And that's where my Naruto started off. It all started at the beginning. Ultimate Ninja 1. That's how I came to like Naruto so much now. And now starts the solo playing. Now Ultimate Alliance, me and DJ Walker and my brother Kurt would play quite, not that often, but often enough. There was a time period where that was nothing but what we would play all day long. And there was a time period where it was just me. And after they didn't really want to play that much, it was just me playing by myself. I beat the game in a total of 4 times already, and 1 more. Star Wars! This was for GameCube. Now, at home, I was on the PS2 all day, and at my cousin's house, it was all about the GameCube. There, we had Star Wars. You're laughing at me? Okay. There, we had Star Wars and other games that we could play. But this was the most teamwork using. But we never had a memory card for the GameCube there either. So we just usually played until we got bored and turned it off. The pace of the game and running around with lightsabers with your friend was just too much fun. And this is the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Melee. Just played it Thanksgiving Day. Me and my cousin's family, we had a blast. And this is 7 to 8 years after we started. So that's saying something. So Super Smash Bros. Is basically a beat 'em up. We beat up your friends, family, or a CPU in a game to see who's the best out of them all. It's sort of like J-Star's Victory, just in Super Smash Bros. Oh crap. Need to wrap this up, my memory. So basically that's what it was. We played non-stop. When my DJ Walker got this is all we played. Non-stop. Yo, you got the game? Yeah, I got it. Now, then DJ Walker got PS2, and that's where Def Jam started for me. We all played Def Jam, and the GameCube slowly but surely got forgotten. And this is where we started our PS2. Then when we get to... This is just me playing by myself now. I started off first with my solo gameplay with Spider-Man 2. That was the first game I tried and beat by myself. After that was Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, and this was the start of my Dragon Ball Z career. I didn't know that much about it. I knew Trunks was in it and all that other stuff, but I didn't know crap about it. And this explained a lot to me, and after that, Dragon Ball Z became my favorite game of all time. I sat there, beat the game 2 or 3 times, and beat the boss. And played the reverse mode until I was good. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be awesome. Share the video around. This is really good material here. So once again, thank you all. This has been D4, and I'm out of here.